To diff or not to diff? That is the question. I actually did go ahead and get a used differential off of eBay and replace mine. And I also got the little donut that goes at the end of the drive shaft as well, because that looked like it was pretty much disintegrating. So the result is basically, I actually the differential I got is a lot better than the one I had on it. So the decision to do it was actually a good one, in my opinion. However, it wasn't a perfect one because I still have a little bit of play in the differential. At least when, at least I think it's in the diff. When I actually back up, you can hear it kind of have that little shift, a delayed catch. And then occasionally when I'm going in reverse, you'll hear it kind of stutter or rub or something like that, you know. But for the most part, it is a lot better diff than I actually had in it. So riding better. Not totally satisfied with the situation. However, to get you really can't find like a new diff. I think I found one that was newer, and I probably should have got that one. And that was more like at more of a business than it was, on eBay. So I should have got that one. I think it's a little bit more expensive. But I decided not to. Hindsight's 20/20, right? So the next thing, now I did keep my. I was able to find a mechanic that was able to install it for me, even though it was like a customer supplied part. So that was cool. But of course, if you do that, they won't insure the part or the maintenance or the job. So you kind of take a little bit of risk in that. But if you can find one, you can save some money in that situation, where you can get your own part and have them install it for you. So I thought about doing it myself. I was like, just had to buy some tools and stuff. So, but I decided not to. But the next option would be, since I have the old diff, is to actually redo the gearing on the inside of it to refurbish it. I think there are kits you can do to refurbish it, to like put shims in it to take a lot of that, to replace the gearing, but also make it a little bit more stable. I don't know if they're called shims or whatever, but I think they have those type of kits. But they also have a kit to where it's a different type of limit slip differential, and that kit I can't think of it off the top of my head. I want to say it's Tremec, but it basically replaces a lot of the gearing inside of your differential. And I think they cost around about $500 or so. And then, of course, you'd have to either find somebody to put it together for you or do it yourself. The next option would be to basically, I think you got to replace your whole back end. You got to replace your axles, your differential, and your differential, just to be able to, keep going. Because I don't think you can actually just replace the differential unless you find one somebody refurbished. Otherwise, you got to replace the axle, differential, maybe a couple other parts, but I think that's primarily it. Now, the difference is you can do your differential, from what I see, you can do your differential, which is around my $500, for the parts, potentially. And another couple $100 or more for the labor. Otherwise, replacing the whole the differential, then replacing the axles, that's going to be at least $5,000. At least $5,000, and it looks like it could be up to $7,500 to $8,000 for the parts themselves. So that's your next option. But I think I'm gonna try to rebuild the diff with the Tremec gearing as a cheaper option, because it seems like my axles are good, and just go from there. You know, just try to keep this bad boy on the road. But it does seem like some parts are a little interesting to find, but you can find some stuff, at least at this point. Let's see if I can find a fuel door actuator, whatever that thing is called. 'Cause I don't think mine is working. And also somebody broke off the thing, so I'm not to worry about it, but I still want to try to get another one. As far as the diff works, it's pretty nice. It's a whole lot nicer than the first one. Like I said, it does have that play in it. But overall, I think it was a good buy. And from what I understand, the differentials and the GTOs are like a known issue as far as breaking down and not really being able to hold up. And that's even if you're driving and you're babying it, it seems like they still have issues. So you might be able to find one to replace yours that might be in better condition potentially. And on the other side of it, you should be able to rebuild it, but it's going to be at least $500 for the parts, you know. But I think that'll be the last one on the diff. To diff or not to diff. Also, I just ended up having to buy a new starter, which is not that cool. They wanted to charge me, initially they wanted to charge me around about $800 to get the parts and the labor. That was at one place. Another place wanted to charge me $700 for parts and labor. And you know, me looking online, I was able to, the biggest issue with them is the mechanics. They were only going to be able to get the part for around like $400 to $600 for the starter. But if you look online, you know, you can go to like AutoZone or somewhere, you can find it for like $225 is the cheapest I found at, you know, at this date and time. I found one for $260 or $270, and this is a GM part. And then I had another one, I was at, but they weren't in stock, and I had another one that was in stock, but I had to drive like 40 minutes just to go pick the part up, and that was like $265 plus all the tax and stuff like that. So in some cases, if you want to save some money and you can find a mechanic that'll install a customer supply part, and you don't, you know, you're okay with accepting that risk, then you can, you know, buy your own part would be the cheapest way of doing it, and then taking it to somebody who can actually replace it for you if you can't do it yourself. The easiest thing, or the cheapest thing, is be able to actually do it yourself if you have those type of skills and stuff like that, or have a friend that's willing to help you, and you know hook them out with some, you know, a little bit of bread. But yeah, the starter's a whole lot better. I mean, it did have like a little slow start, but it was consistent, you know, pretty consistent. I guess it just gave out. So, but the battery is good and everything, and but once the starter was replaced, and I did use a GM genuine part. It's a yeah, it's called GM genuine part starter. Yeah, I can't remember if it was refurbished or not, but works really well. Starts up really nice, you know, compared to where it was. And you know, you don't have that intermittent starting issue if you're having a starting problem. But